Hello, I'm Ryan Hill, and this is my EDL 854 case study. Uh, in the Missing Booster Club Funds case study, the middle school really relied on volunteers to receive gate and concession monies. Then, when accounting practices were followed after an event, a few flags arose. A patron stated that he paid for the entrance with a $50 bill, but it was not present in the money bag, as well as 10 missing tickets and the corresponding cash that goes with those 10 missing tickets. When looking at a case study, we have to identify the problem and then put forth some analysis to it. And how we do that is what we look at is what do you know, what do you need to know, and then identifying the problem at the end. The things that you need to know in this case is that there were sound accounting practices that were followed, but a patron stated that he paid with a $50 bill, and there was 10 tickets that were noted as damaged and discarded. Money didn't support those 10 admissions. So what else do you need to know beyond that? Parent volunteers oversee money collection at events. The collector at this certain event actually requested funding, but was denied prior to this event. Money was counted in front of the security guard as an additional measure to assure that there was no wrongdoing in the administration. So the problem is the ticket proceeds balanced with the number of tickets sold minus the 10 reported torn, but the total didn't reflect that amount. And it should have included the 10 tickets. The $50 bill was also not present in the money bag. The next step is in the process is to create a plan of action in order to develop and implement strategies in order to solve issues like this. The first step would be to confirm the count. You would hate to accuse somebody of this type of grievance if you weren't 100% sure that the numbers didn't match up. So you'd check the deposit with the number of tickets sold with the tickets provided. Especially since the roughly $100 missing is not close to the $798 that was proposed by the person that was in charge of receiving the money. The next step is if there is an issue, consult with the district. The district should have resources and procedures in place in case of these strategies or in case of these situations happen. And then if legal action is called for, the district can help organize those needs. Finally, increase the volunteers. I know it's not always possible, and even though there was accounting practices, the sound accounting practices in place, it didn't necessarily happen. So it is always a good practice to have multiple people in charge of admissions. In this situation, policy just may not have been followed. Next is developing a solution. In order to resolve these type of issues, it is best to try to find a way to promote the success of all students. And the best way to promote the success of all students is to have to assure that the money spent on their achievement, so in this case admissions and concessions, is properly accounted for every time. Assure that the proper practices are implemented and hold people accountable for not following those proper procedures. One of the biggest unresolved issues is the fact that the amount missing was just around $100, when the one in charge of retaining that money only requested upwards of about $800. So the main feeling when reading this case study was, it's pretty disheartening when a school is having success, and they're getting people to show up and be active, that someone had to take advantage of that and try to take care of some personal needs. There's really hard to find any real issue with the leadership in this case. The principal has showed solid leadership by ensuring quality accounting practices are in place. He had the foresight to know that he is needed in the supervision role, so therefore he instituted those practices. Those practices proved pertinent in finding the issue. The only procedure I can see that the principal may have missed was to have multiple volunteers in charge of the admission procedures. He has that in his procedures. I think he just may have missed the boat on assuring that there was enough people there to take that in account for this time. The school has been extremely efficient by expanding the role of one administrator. So there can be some issue there, perhaps if there was multiple administrators involved, that this issue may not have happened. But in hindsight, the management has been highly effective while being efficient with the procedures in place. This is a school and an administrator that has shown immense pride in the success of his students. So the social learning has been promoted through the presentation of the success of students, and the support of the community at the last home game is proof of that. Sports and other extracurricular activities are the main avenues of social learning. Students see social learning in action when parents and community are involved in the ways that they have been in this case. Funds gathered from these types of events are extremely important in order to support those continuing efforts in order to support social learning. Just like social learning, student academic learning has been proven to be effective as well. The school leader promotes the academic achievement through the development of programs like the Reading Buddies. Although a great proof of this is that the school's demographic and economic status has changed, community and parent involvement has not. The involvements illustrate the success of the promotion of the students' academic learning. Thank you for watching my case study for EDL 854. This class has been tremendous. I appreciate everything that I've learned throughout the modules on school finance, and I look forward to being able to apply this knowledge in the future. Thanks again.